Here's my pepper transplants. I have a lot of different kinds of peppers. You can see they're nice and tall, nicely rooted up, and so they're just perfect. All right, so now it's time to plant our beans outside. Hi, and welcome back to the garden. My name is Dawn. Today we're going to be planting in the garden. I have a lot of things to plant. I have tomatoes, peppers, eggplant, lots of flowers, lots of tomatoes actually. And we'll see what we get planted this weekend. The whole week's going to be nice, so if I don't get everything planted this weekend, I have the whole week to get come out here after work and get things done. I'm going to show you the potatoes. 2 weeks ago we planted the potatoes. I'll show you those. They're coming up. We have 5 rows plus a little bit of volunteers in the middle, but all the potatoes are coming up nicely. Tom is about to hill them. He'll probably hill them tomorrow. But there's a look at the potatoes. Let me take you over and I'll show you my tomato transplants, my peppers and all that kind of stuff. Right here is some flowers. These are my snapdragons. When you plant these, the trick to getting nice thick snapdragons is you have to pinch them back. This will be the 3rd time I'm pinching them back. Then they bunch out and you get a bigger plant. So snapdragons you have to plant earlier than the other flowers because you have to pinch them back. Here's my pepper transplants. I have a lot of different kinds of peppers. We like eating peppers a lot. So I try to plant many different kinds. So, and here's my eggplant. And over here I have all my tomato transplants, which are getting nice and long, which is great because I plant them deep. I'll show you that when I'm planting them. I have 2 different kinds of basils here. I have more flowers. And these are my flowers that are gorgeous. They don't attract any kind of bees or anything like that, but they're so pretty. I plant them. These are my tower asters. I also have more stuff by the house that I have to bring down here that I've been hardening off. So let me get to work and get planted. And Tom made me up my fertilizer. This is my fertilizer that I put when I'm planting. This is regular fertilizer plus lime, and I put that in when I do my planting. Greenhouse I did not clean up yet because we're not planting anything in here right now. I did plant these couple little tomatoes. These are just a test. These are called Glacier, and they have some flowers on them, and they're the small tomatoes, bigger than cherries. They're like a 2-ounce tomato. And we'll see how they are. All right, I'm all set to plant my peppers. What I do is I take them out of my containers and I put them right where I want them. So I plant all my own peppers, and this is a bell pepper, Flavor Burst. That is my absolute favorite. Then I have Purple Beauty, Dragonfly. This is a new one from Johnny. It's called SVA. I'm trying it. And Carmen and Big Daddy. Those are the horn type peppers. They're frying peppers. And I have the normal King of the North, California Wonder, Red Knight. And then over here I just have more of the same. I always plant 2 beds of peppers. We use a lot. So this is my 1 bed. My other bed will go over there, but I have not finished getting that bed ready. So I'll show you how I plant these. I'll try to give you a little close-up of how I do this. So I just loosen my soil with this. I dig my hole a little deeper than I want. Then I take a little bit of the fertilizer and lime and put it in the bottom. You can see that. Then you take dirt and you put it over that. And then you put your pepper plant. You don't want to put the pepper plant right on the fertilizer because you don't want to take a chance on burning the roots. And then you just do that, cover it up. And pepper plants, you can plant a little deeper Some things in the garden you have to plant right at the level, but pepper plants you can plant a little deeper. Same with tomatoes, I plant them a lot deeper because tomatoes will root up the whole stem. My soil is so moist with all this rain. So I just make a hole, put my fertilizer and lime, fill it with dirt, a little bit on top of the fertilizer, and then come back and take my dirt and push it back down. There you go. That's how I plant my peppers, and I'll do the whole row like that. Okay, so there's the last 2 peppers on this bed anyway. I always take my peppers and I separate them. I do a mix of all different types in one bed, and then I plant the other bed way over there. That way if there's any problems with pests or disease, or somehow you know, a groundhog or something gets in here. So there's a look at the row of peppers that's done. Like I said, I still need to plant all these peppers and some eggplant. My hot peppers are going over in that bed this year, so that's have to get that fixed up. And as you can see, this trellis, this is how we stake our peppers. As they start growing, we will move this down, make it tight, and then the peppers will grow through. You don't have to worry about them falling over and breaking with winds or having too many peppers on there. And this is how we like to do our peppers. We do this with our flowers also. This will be a bed of flowers. I'll be doing that hopefully tomorrow. So now that the 1 row of peppers is done, I'll see what I'm going to plant next. It's getting a little darker out. It's going to be raining soon. So yeah, I'll see what I can get done. Alright, so this is my indeterminate tomato bed. This is how we do it. Tom digs a nice deep hole with his tool here. It's a cup cutter. And then that way I can just put my fertilizer in there and plant my tomatoes. Makes it a lot easier. Alright, so this is my tomatoes. These were planted on 4-1 in a 128 cell flat, and then I repotted them up and I put them in this tray, and this is a 36 tray, and those were repotted on 4-14, and today is 5-19, and I'm going to be planting them in the garden. You can see they're nice and tall, nicely rooted up, and so they're just perfect. So here's a look at everything before I start planting. See, Tom made the holes, and I put all the tomatoes I want. These are my indeterminate. So I basically do this like I do my peppers, except tomatoes go a lot deeper, and you can plant tomatoes really deep. You see this right here, that is a root that's going to come out. So you can plant them all the way up to the leaves if you want, and that will all be roots. So what I do is I take off the bottom 2 set of leaves, and when I plant them, they'll be pretty much, you know, deep like that. Then it requires a lot less water, has a much better root system. And again, I have my mixture of fertilizer plus calcium lime. The calcium lime also helps with blossom end rot, and fertilizer just gives them a real nice boost as soon as the roots hit it. So I'll plant a couple. So I take a handful of this. You can take a scoop and then do the same amount, but I just do it by eye. I put that in the bottom, then I sprinkle a little dirt so the roots do not touch the bottom. I took these leaves off already. Then I just plant it, get some dirt around it, tuck it in on the sides. You don't want any air pockets. And then you can just fill up the rest. Pack it in firm, but do not do it too firm. You don't want to break anything, and you do want the water to get down to the base. And I just leave it like this, so when we water, this is a divot here, so the water will go right into the bottom and then go right down. And any dirt that's left over on the top, I'll just remove later. Oh, and I didn't say, but the tags that I have in the bottom, they are sticky, so I just strip the tape off the back and then I stick them onto my netting, and then I know which tomatoes I planted. So again, take a handful of fertilizer, a little bit of dirt. I take the bottom leaves off. And we grow our tomatoes on trellises. So as they grow, I will weave them in and out. Once we started doing that, I haven't done anything else with my indeterminate because it works so amazing. All right, so now it's time to plant our beans outside. These are our bush beans. These are Goldilocks. I planted these inside. I started them on 510. Today is 519. So in 9 days, they're this big. And I plant them inside. That way I don't have to compete with any kind of bugs or anything like that. And I know right where they're going to be spaced. And these are jade. And these are almost ready to go in. I might plant a couple today. This is another tray of jade. Then I just planted these a couple days ago. So in another, 6 days, these will be ready to go out. So we'll get these planted today. And once they get in the ground, they really take off. Oh, back in the garden. Tom rototilled the bed, then he rolls it. So Tom has this little tool he put on the back of his wheel hoe, and it makes these little dibblers. And then we have a nice template for our spacing for our beans. All right, so we use our stand and plant tool to plant these beans. So this is how it plants. Then you just have to go back and just move the dirt around like this and water them in. That's so easy. So I'll continue this. That's all my wax beans. And I'm gonna be planting some jade bean right there. So I'll go get those. All right, so we have our beans planted and they're all done. So that's one bed of beans. I have another bed of beans going in about a week. I like to can them. And then we got 2 rows of the indeterminate tomatoes, and we grow them vertically on this trellis. This is my second row of indeterminate tomatoes. Here we got them in, and this year we're going to have to take the top 2 trellises down. We had a tree branch fall and smashed that last year, so we have to redo that one. But otherwise we reuse a trellis year after year until they get too old. They last a lot of years, and when they get loose, you just take it and then you just take a zip tie and make it a little tighter. During the week I'm going to be planting the rest. I got to plant determinate tomatoes in here. I have 3 rows of tomatoes I plant out there. That has to be cleaned up first. So far everything's doing nicely. We really need some sunlight to get these things really growing. You can see it needs to be planted in the ground and fertilized. So that's it for today. And I'll see you back in a week or 2 and we'll see how everything is progressing.
And